I haven't done one of these in ages. I haven't done a get ready with me like makeup video in absolutely ages. So I thought, why not mix it up a little bit, Regan? Let's be a little bit feisty with this. I want to know your assumptions about me. So I asked on my Instagram earlier, what is your first impression of me? Like, what is your assumption? And it's not going to be the stain there because that is just a bit of rain. It's nothing else. But I want to know what your assumptions of me are. So let's have a chat while we do makeup. Now, I think the first assumption that I always get is that I'm very outgoing, that I'm very kind of like in your face. I don't actually think that's the case whatsoever. Like, it sounds really weird, but like I'm really bad at like, you know, the first initial like meeting people, you know, when you like go up to someone like, oh, hi, my name's Regan, nice to meet you. I am really bad at that. Like, I'm really, really awful at it. If I ever have to go to events or stuff like that, that's the bit that I really struggle with. Like, once I get going, once I've had a couple of bevs, don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely fine. But that's one thing I really struggle with when I go to events is like chatting to people when I first meet them, that initial like going and introducing myself. Like, it's like when you're in the talking stage and asking someone what their favourite fucking colour is. I really struggle with that bit. So I'd say, yes, I'm outgoing when I get to know you, but initially that first kind of interaction, no, it doesn't happen. The next assumption is kind of an assumption I've had since I was at school, is that like I have like a bit of a silver spoon in my mouth, that I'm very well off, and that it's kind of like I've always had money in my pocket. And I think that's a bit of a backhanded kind of comment, if I'm honest. Like, my parents have always had jobs. When I was little, I used to spend a lot of time with my nan and my grandpa because my parents worked full-time jobs. They worked a lot of shift work, and that's always been the same. Like, they're both retired now, like they've both kind of done their bit, but they've always worked really hard for their money. I know that I'm very fortunate in the life that I have. Like, I know compared to a lot of my friends when I was younger, like I did go on nice holidays, like I did always have like nice packed lunches, stuff like that. And I'm fully aware that not every child is in that position when they're younger. Like, I'm fully aware of that, and I'm fully kind of aware in the fact that I have been very fortunate when I was younger. But my parents have always had like really hard working jobs. I've always had a job since I was 14. I have always worked a job. I started off working in a hairdresser's when I was 14, working Saturdays, and then I'd do half terms. Even like when I was doing my aesthetics, I was working 3 jobs. 4 jobs at some point. I was doing my aesthetics during the week. I was at university doing my degree. I was doing a cleaning job, scrubbing people's shit out the toilets. I was obviously doing social media. And then I was also working for a charity, running their social media for a charity helping disadvantaged kids that come from like abused backgrounds, stuff like that. So I've always had a job. I've never ever liked not working. I've always had a really, really good work ethic. And I think that's one thing my parents have always really said about me. So I think the kind of term is, you've always had money, like this, that, and the other. Yeah, because I've worked my tits off. Another assumption is, do you know what one person said? One guy goes, yeah, you're definitely a slut. First of all, in this day and age, we don't call people that. That's not nice. But again, not that it's anyone's business. I'm only ever been with 2 people. Both of those boys have been my boyfriends. Haven't been with anyone else. Don't intend to be with anyone else. Ollie, if you're watching that, endgame. Don't intend on being with anyone else. I've never really been one of those girls that does have fun, have a one night stand, anything like that. It's never been me. I don't think it ever would be me. But yeah, only 2 boys I've been with have both been my boyfriends. One was my boyfriend from when I was younger up until I was about 18, and then Ollie. That was literally it. Yeah, I'm just not that type of girl. Some girls have got it in them, fair play to them. I don't think that could be me. Next assumption that I get is that I'm really rude. And do you know what? I do get this a lot. Like, a lot of people will meet me, or because I'm quite blunt sometimes over message, just because I'm very to the point and I like to just message everyone back as quickly as possible. I am quite blunt on message. So they'll meet and they'll be like, oh, like I thought you was going to be really, really rude, but you're not. You're actually very, very polite. But I feel like I can come across as that sometimes. I can come across as quite to the point, very blunt, just because I kind of say it how it is. I am quite cutthroat with stuff like that, and I will always be polite. I will always be polite to people. I think that there is no reason in the world for you not to be polite to someone. However, like, if I get a bad vibe off you, like that doesn't really change. But I will never ever be rude to someone. I don't believe you should ever be rude to anyone. Just if someone's not your vibe, just cut them off, don't talk to them. And in terms of friendships as well, I'm very much like that. Like, if you're not a good friend to me, or if anything like that, like, there will never ever be any beef, there will never be any issue. Like, I'll just cut you off. Like, the oxygen will be starved, you'll be gone. Like, that's literally it. I don't believe that people should be in arguments. I don't believe that there should be spats, anything like that. I think that at our grown age, if there are any spats, there is any sort of beef or anything like that, I think that it is very secondary schoolish. I think that as adults, there's no need for any of that. Yeah, if I don't like you, if I don't vibe with you, if you just get cut off, kind of end off, and that does sound really cutthroat, but I have found over the years, I sound like I'm 40 with a mortgage, I found over the years that if you are struggling with anything like that, it's just so much easier. Just kind of cut that out of your life, cut the drama out of your life, cut everything, just literally cut it off. And you will find your life will become a lot easier, and it will just be a lot more of a light workload, just stuff like that. Like, I was reading this book the other day, and it was like The Subliminal Art of Not Giving a Fuck and Atomic Habits and stuff like that. And both of the books, both coincidentally said, just rid yourself of anything that might be bringing you any negativity or anything like that. And I always thought it was really hippie, but it's not. And your life will just be so much easier. Like, you'll sleep more peacefully at night. Like, you'll have your kind of priorities more aligned if you just cut things out that aren't a necessity to you, that aren't bringing you anything but positivity. I feel like I want to do more assumptions, because I feel like I ramble so much, so this is going to have to get cut down loads. But I think I might do a part 2. I might do a part 2. We'll have a dabble.